Collection of statistics, pictures, and stories about this gala event. From Eddie Shore to Wayne Gretzky, the program provides a colorful, fact-filled chronicle of hockey's best players and most thrilling all-star moments. Even if you can't be at the game, you can still share in the excitement with your own copy of the official All-Star program. Just send $6, check or money order, along with your name and address to All-Star Magazine, Post Office Box 1750, New York, New York, 10153. As you may know from the parking lot here at the Meadowlands Arena, you can see the Empire State Building. All three of New York's metro area's football teams play here at the Meadowlands. What it all spells out for this town of East Rutherford is an identity complex. How did this place all begin? Here's how. Rutherford, New Jersey began life in the late 1700s, known as Boiling Springs, a tribute to a natural spring that ran through the center of town. When wealthy land baron and former U.S. Senator John Rutherford died in 1841, vast portions of his property were sold to a real estate company calling themselves the Rutherford Park Association, shortened later to Rutherford Park. A name misspelling by a local delegation seeking a post office for the town led to the present-day spelling of Rutherford. Following a 5-year dispute, a local newspaper succeeded in adopting the misspelled Rutherford, dropped the park off the name, and ended all the controversy. Once the railroad came in, the Rutherford area became a weekend retreat for the affluent New Yorkers. It was a place to get away from the big city and enjoy the best of life. Sports enthusiasm was always common in Rutherford in the early years, and so it wasn't surprising when in 1971 the New Jersey Sports Authority decided to construct the Sports Complex. Situated in a marshland on the 19,000 square acre Meadowlands is Giant Stadium, home to 3 professional football teams and a soccer team. The Meadowlands Racetrack, home of the prestigious Hambletonian. And the Byrne Meadowlands Arena, the new kid on the swamp, which carries the name of the former governor of the state. It's home to professional hockey, basketball, concerts, horse shows, the circus, and many expositions. It's been 184 years since John Rutherford built his summer home in Union Township, later Boiling Springs, later Rutherford. One wonders if he could have envisioned this vast swampland one day becoming one of the most recognized and accomplished sports complexes in the nation. And so that gives you a little bit of an information and background as to where we are tonight, East Rutherford, New Jersey. We've had 5 different goal scorers. The Wales Conference mystical domination continues. They lead 5-0 after 1 period. We met John Ziegler earlier. He received the Lester Patrick Award, but someone else received it last night, posthumously, Art Ross. It was presented by a player who played for Art Ross when he was the coach in Boston, Milt Schmidt, a former All-Star coach. He's handing the Patrick Trophy to John Ross, Art Ross's son. Art Ross, by the way, was the man who prompted the All-Star Game's move from preseason to midseason. Second largest crowd ever to watch an NHL All-Star Game at the Meadowlands Arena. With the second period coming up, Campbell conference in trouble. They trail by 5.
Oldsmobile. There is a special feeling in Oldsmobile. More than the luxury ride, it's a feeling of pride that you feel inside.
This symbol on a new Oldsmobile stands for a very special reputation. This symbol represents a very proud tradition of quality and engineering excellence. A very proud tradition of Oldsmobile excellence.
It's a feeling of pride that you feel inside. There is a special deal in an Oldsmobile. There is a special deal in an Oldsmobile.
I can't believe we're bidding a job this big. They wanted somebody new.
Running your own business, you've got to give it your best. And that means personal computers from Digital for extensive business software, graphics, communications, and a revolutionary customer support plan. Not even the world's largest computer company gives you so much.
We got it.
But the second largest does. Digital Equipment Corporation.
After one period of play, the 36th NHL All-Star Game, the Wales Conference, with a big 5-0 lead over the Campbell Conference. There you see the scoring summary. Sorel at 8:51, then Potvin, then Middleton, then Naslund, and then Pierre LaRouche at 17:14 to finish off the scoring. It's my pleasure now to introduce to you the man who said the Campbell Conference had more firepower on the ice tonight.
Thank you very much. Well, hopefully people just forget about that by now, Dan. I know you'll never forget about it, and you'll never let me live it down for the rest of my life.
Let's look at one of the goals. It's been a surprising turn of events, and here is the fourth goal by Mats Naslund, number 25 for the Whales.
This little Swedish player is not very big, but boy, does he ever have a lot of strength there. You can see his coffee is really giving him a rough time, trying his best to knock Naslund off the puck, but it didn't work. The little guy from the Montreal Canadiens was able to show all of that strength, and enough strength to give the Whales their fourth goal. There we see it again. You can see the angle. Coffey was doing his best to try and take Naslund out of a good scoring position, but it didn't work.
Well, Pierre LaRouche has been quite a story for the New York Rangers all year. Signed as a free agent after being in Hartford. Added to this All-Star game when Brian Trottier was unable to play. And he combined with Mark Johnson for the fifth goal of the period for the Whales.
I thought that line was maybe one of the best lines out in the ice so far this evening. LaRouche playing a wing position tonight rather than center ice, but he really parked himself in the perfect position this time. Watch for LaRouche. Way over in the left-hand corner, Johnson feeds that puck over here on a backhand pass. You notice Bannerman really didn't give him much room, but LaRouche in good balance, good position, and just slapped that puck home quickly. I really think Mark Johnson has turned out to be an excellent playmaker. He's getting an opportunity to play with the Hartford Whalers, and play he's doing. There you see it. LaRouche on the corner, banging it home in behind Bannerman.
And here we go with the live action of the second period. 5-0, the Whales leading. Campbell's on the attack, led by Paul Coffey. Flipping it in on the boards. Glen Anderson unable to center it. Now Messier does. A shot by Coffey goes wide. Here's Gretzky in the corner. Tied up on the play. Now Messier out to Coffey. He's checked, and Mike O'Connell clears the zone and carries to center for the Whales. Number 20, O'Connell. Just firing it in. Paul Coffey back to get it. Long pass to Gretzky. Another breakaway. And Peters stopped him again. Two breakaways in this game for Gretzky, and Pete Peters has stopped them both times. How come Wayne Gretzky has such difficulty on breakaways, and he's admitted he's not a good man on a breakaway?
You've even given me lots of opportunity to think about that, Dan, and there's absolutely no reason whatsoever. He's not nervous. He's got lots of skill, more skill than any player in this league, and there he goes all alone. But watch how cool and calm Pete Peters is in that goal. Stands there, waits him out.
Mats Naslund for the Whales. He scored a goal in that first period. Drops it back to Gilbert Perreault, intercepting it. The Campbell Conference as they attack, but Perreault breaks that up and feeds Naslund. Mats Naslund unable to center it. Now Dennis Savard getting it loose on the boards. And Darcy Rhoda knocked down, but got it to Savard. He moves in, fakes the shot, now lets it go, and scores. Savard made one little fake, and that put Peters down, and then he was able to fire it up into the top corner. Dennis Savard of the Chicago Blackhawks, one of the most exciting players in the game.
Well, there's where it all happened, right at the top of the circle area. You had noticed that Savard, he used that fake shot, that caught Peters off guard. Peters was a little bit too far with that, but what a sharp angle. Savard was still able to find enough room. I thought he was too far deep. Peters was hoping that he was too, but he put it up in the corner.
That cuts the Whales' lead to 5-1. Now Mark Johnson ahead to Don Maloney. He breaks in, and Bannerman comes sliding out. Rebound, LaRouche had a poke at it, and Murray Bannerman stopped him too.
Campbell conference goal scored by number 18.
From Maine to Hawaii, you're watching the 36th NHL All-Star Game on USA.
Dad, look at this one.
Come see the Olympics in a whole new way. Come discover stamp collecting and salute women in the Olympics.
I hope that's me one day.
Bet it will be. So come to the post office and start your collection with the 1984 Olympic Series featuring women.
There you see the Campbell Conference bench. Rob Ramage of the St. Louis Blues, the man nearest to the camera. Now it's Brad Maxwell for the Campbell. Puck is cleared and flipped into the center ice area for Brian Bellows. Bellows drops it to a Grodnick. Glove save by Pete Peters. Let's go here to Al Troutwig.
Well, Dan, Wayne Gretzky's had a lot of tributes in his time. This one from artist Andy Warhol, this colorful portrait, one of a series that was done by the famous artist. And if you want one, you can have one for 35,000 of these. It's a quite beautiful and colorful picture. Back to the action.
Only guy I know could afford one of those would be Gary Green. Here is a loose puck at the line, held in by Maxwell for the Campbell Conference. The shot blocked by Langway, and here's Mark Johnson, number 14 for the Whales. Johnson of the Hartford Whalers shoots one. Stick save there by Bannerman. Now Lowe tries to clear it down. Maloney knocks it down. Yzerman gets it to Lowe. Lowe behind the net to Maxwell. Brad Maxwell to Brian Bellows to Steve Yzerman. Yzerman, the 19-year-old rookie. Or the 18-year-old rookie flipping it in. He wears jersey number 19. He's only 18 years of age. Youngest player ever in the All-Star game. Here's Michel Goulet. Checks at the blue line. And Lowe feeds Bellows. Pass ahead to Yzerman. Out of the net was Peters, and Mike O'Connell flips it ahead on left wing for Goulet. He missed it, and Rob Ramage, number 5, cleared it. Held in by Goulet. Bannerman out of the net to clear it himself to center ice. Now the puck sliding into the Wales end of the rink. Raymond Bourque back to pick it up. On the boards to Tim Kerr. That's Paul Coffey pinching in. Holding the puck in the Wales end of the rink. Now O'Connell to Bourque. Bourque firing it around in the boards. Intercepting it is Bernie Nichols. To Lanny McDonald, whose shot went wide. Peter Stastny, number 27 for the Wales. Up the middle to Kerr. Ramage breaks that up. And the Campbell Conference come back. Here's Nichols. Got it to the line. That's as far as they could go. And back comes Tim Kerr, number 17 for the Whales. Leaves it for Michel Goulet to Peter Stastny. Back to the point. Cirella shot right on. And Bannerman the save there on the shot by Joe Cirella. Exclusive national coverage of the NHL All-Star Game is coming your way on USA.
Why has Toyota stood the truck world on its rear? All new trucks. Trucks with power features, performance features, comfort features, work features. New generation Toyotas. You can't buy a better value. Starting with a price that hasn't changed in over 2 years. $59.98.
Oh, what a feeling!
Stood them on their rear.
Toyota!
5-1, the Wales Conference leading the Campbell Conference here in the NHL All-Star Game. Rick Middleton with a drop pass that comes all the way back near the Wales line, and Potvin has it there. Shot it to center. Doug Wilson intercepting it to David Babich, number 44. Now Potvin intercepts again for the Wales. Mark Messier chasing back, number 11 for the Campbells. Now ahead on the wing. And breaking it up is Cirella for the Wales as he took it away from Anderson. Here's Glen Anderson again. Barry Peterson checked him, and Cirella cleared it. Wilson held it in. Now the puck comes to Middleton. The prop back to Middleton, but back checking was Glen Anderson. Anderson to Doug Wilson. Wilson now to Dave Babich, number 44. At center to Messier. Potvin broke that up. Couldn't clear it, however. Potvin gets another chance, and this time plays the boards to center ice. Number 24, Doug Wilson of the Chicago Blackhawks back for the Campbell Conference. To Dave Babbitt. Off the boards for Gretzky. Gretzky moving in with Anderson, and Gretzky's pass cleared by Middleton to center ice. Kevin Lowe for the Campbell Conference. To David Babbitt, now ahead for Glen Anderson. Across the line, but in ahead of the play and offside was Darcy Rhoda. And let's, at this point, go to Al Troutwell.
And down here, there's a lot of activity not on the ice. It's the Associated Press darkroom where they're developing pictures of action that has already taken place. They're typing out the captions for the pictures, and they're getting ready to send them out across the country to all the newspapers for tomorrow morning's papers. Back to you.
That last scoring play for the Campbell Conference, their first goal of the game, Dennis Savard scored his first All-Star goal. Vive and Coffey assisted, 1:23 here in the second period. Here's Brad Maxwell shooting it in. Bill Housley back to get it. Played it on the boards, but that play had been whistled down for some reason, and I'm not sure why. From St. Paul, Minnesota, Phil Housley of the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, last year he led all rookie defensemen in the NHL. 19 goals, 47 assists for 66 points.
By the way, he'll be one of Al Trudwick's guests in our upcoming intermission. Here's Matt Naslund trying to clear it in. Broken up, and the Campbell Conference come back. Naslund intercepted and shoots it in. Kevin Lowe back to get it. Ahead on the left wing side. Held in by the Whales. Now to Langway at the point. Broken up, and here is Rick Vive. Ahead to Savard. Dennis Savard leaving it for Vive. They score! Darcy Rhoda, I believe, deflected it in. Vive let it go, but Darcy Rhoda, I think, tipped it.
Well, it was a good screenplay. You watch Vive picking up that puck off balance when he goes to shoot it, but just to the left of your screen, Darcy Rhoda was moving right in front of the net. One more time, watch Vive. He is really covered here, but Darcy Rhoda wasn't.
And from our high view camera,
Scored by number 17, Darcy Rhoda.
there you see the deflection, and it was Darcy Rhoda who gets credited with the goal. That cuts the Wales lead to 5-2. The Wales attack again. Moving in is Pierre LaRouche. Couldn't get his shot away. Now Mike O'Connell at the point. His shot blocked. And back comes Coffey with a pass to John Ogrodnik. Ray Bourque is there for the Wales. Bourque battling on the boards. Gets it to Don Maloney, who shot it to the Campbell blue line, and Steve Yzerman, number 19, has it there. Into the center ice area now to Ogrodnik. John Ogrodnik, quick wrist shot. Peters the save, big rebound, and Peters came away out of the net to cover up on it and hold it. There you see Darcy Rhoda, the scoring play. Rhoda, his first All-Star goal. Vive and Savard, the assists. 5:51 the time.
I think the Wales Conference must have heard what I said before the game, but the Campbells are on their way back. Will we say the Campbells are coming, Dan?
Here's a shot from the face-off that goes off a stick over the glass. And we'll have another face-off from the Wales into the rink. The professor, Al Arbor, the Islander coach.
14th year as a coach in the NHL.
Here's Ogrodnik from the face-off. He scores! John Ogrodnik. And now you see that scoring power of the Campbell Conference. John Ogrodnik of the Detroit Red Wings, right from the face-off, blasting it in.
Well, watch this face-off situation. There you see it. Stevie Yzerman winning that draw right back to Ogrodnik. That's one benefit of playing together in the All-Star game when you play all year together, as those two do with the Detroit Red Wings.
So that cuts the Wales lead to 5-3. Now Rob Ramage on the attack for the Campbell Conference. Number 5 tried to center. Joe Cirella broke it up, and Tim Kerr feeds the center to Michel Goulet, now to Peter Stosnik. Coffey breaks it up. Now Goulet in the corner, centered. Big rebound to Potvin. Vanderman, a sliding, sprawling save. Back comes Coffey. Paul Coffey centers one to Agrodnik. Tipped away by Goulet. Agrodnik shot it behind the net, but Dennis Potvin intercepts. Lost it. Here's Rob Ramage, a backhander. Stopped at the defense. And the Whales clear up the center. First period belonged to the Whales. The Campbells have dominated here in the second. Play broken up with the blue line by Don Maloney, and Rob Ramage shot at the center. Back comes Peter Stastny. Drop pass back, a shot by Tim Kerr just off the target. Now here's Lanny McDonald to Don Maloney. Now centering one, tipped away into the corner. Lanny McDonald battling with Langway for a loose puck. Now trying to center it was Nichols. Housley and Langway try and freeze it on the boards. Lanny McDonald couldn't get it. And then Goulet flips it to center ice to Kerr, and the Whales shoot it in. 5-3, the Whales conference leading. There's a hit along the boards by Langway as he got a piece of Lanny McDonald. Rob Langway over to Phil Housley. Back to Langway again. Now into the center ice area. Bernie Nichols was tied up by Brian Kropp, and now it's Doug Wilson to Babbitt. At center, Housley intercepting. Here's Phil Housley, number 6. Drops to Middleton. Vanderman, a stick save on Rick Middleton. Now Peterson centers one. Housley on the other wing. Doug Wilson pins Brian Kropp against the boards. Middleton centered it, but it was intercepted, and back comes Babbitt. Headmanning it for Messier. Back to Babbitt. Leaves it for Messier. He centers. Shot stopped by Peters as Lanny McDonald let it go. And then Kropp clears it out for the Whales. Here's Lowe passing to Messier. Leaves it for Gretzky. Back to Messier. Mark Messier to Gretzky in front of the net. Gretzky's shot blocked. Gretzky after it again. In front. Shot blocked as Glen Anderson let it go, and Mike O'Connell blocked it. Here's Rick Middleton. Ahead to Brian Bellows. Bellows with a low shot off the target. Now Raymond Bourque shoots, and Bannerman a stick save. Brad Maxwell playing it off the boards for Messier. Mike O'Connell lost it, and now Gilbert Perreault for the Whales. Shoots it to center ice. Here's Max Naslund. Naslund with a low shot, and Vanderman a stick save there. Messier for the Campbell Conference. Mark Messier leaving it for Maxwell. Headmanning it now to Anderson to Gretzky. A shot! Skate save by Peters. That's Naslund. Clears to Mike O'Connell. Now to Dennis Potvin. Perfect pass at center for Naslund. Naslund can't get around the defense. Still has the puck to Potvin. Broken up and cleared to Gretzky at center. 2-on-1 break. Gretzky to Coffey, right in. Pad save by Peters on Paul Coffey as Gretzky sent him in the clear. And now both teams will change goaltenders, and Peters just made a big save. He'll be replaced by Chico Resto of the New Jersey Devils.
Great game, Peter, boy. Great game, buddy.
Great ovation for Glen Chico Resto, who'll take over in goal for the Wales Conference. Grant Fuhr takes over for the Campbell Conference. Chico Resto for the Wales. For our local systems, we'll pause now. The 36th NHL All-Star Game is coming your way on USA.
Our game tonight, we're watching Michel Goulet and Peter Stastny of the Quebec Nordiques, and we're also watching Phil Housley and Gilbert Perreault of the Buffalo Sabres. We'll watch them again Sunday night, as we'll be in Buffalo's Memorial Auditorium for special edition NHL Sunday night, beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 on the West Coast. An Adams Division clash between the Quebec Nordiques and the Buffalo Sabres on USA Sports Sunday.
Well, you see Grant Fuhr, the Edmonton Oilers goaltender, will take over for the Campbell Conference. 20 wins and only 4 losses at 3.69 goals against average. Chico Resch of the New Jersey Devils taking over for the Wales Conference. He's, by the way, wearing a microphone tonight. Oh, and Chico's a very chatty guy. You may hear him have something to say from time to time. By the way, Chico Resch is a replacement for Al Jensen of the Washington Capitals, who had to miss this game because of an injury.
Well, I talked to Al Jensen last night. Very disappointed young man. He has had a remarkable season. He just hopes there's many more seasons to come where he has an opportunity to play in this game.
There's Dennis Savard, who has figured prominently in this comeback in the second period by the Campbell Conference.
How about Chico? Look, the kid. Thanks, Johnny. A little wide open, huh? Probably I'll try to do so.
He hit Chico Resch, talking to the linesman John D'Amico.
Fine job, my son. Go, Danny. Go, Joey. Sure.
Those last scoring plays for the Campbell Conference, Rhoda from 5 and Savard at 5:51, and then a Grodnick from Yzerman at 6:42. The earlier Campbell goal in this period had been scored by Dennis Savard. So that cuts the Wales lead to 5-3. It's been like 2 different games. The Wales dominated the first, Campbell Conference dominating here in the second.
I've got it figured out, Dan, because the Campbell Conference has to come from the west. The Wales Conference just come in by bus mostly from this side. It's the travel that wore them down. They didn't have their legs in the first period.
Just in case anybody wonders about who said that, that was Gary Green that said that. It wasn't Dan Kelly. It wasn't Al Trudwick. It was Gary Green.
The game is a long ways from being over.
Al Arbor and the referee Bruce Hood, his 3rd NHL All-Star game. 1,000 games as a referee, more than any other man has ever refereed, and he was honored for that feat earlier this year by the NHL.
Well, that is quite a remarkable feat.
Here we go on the face-off. Now Sorella for the Wales, losing it. Rick Vibe trying to center. Dennis Potvin tying him up. Shot on the boards. And then held there by Rob Ramage and Don Maloney, and we'll get another face-off as you look at the Rangers' Don Maloney.
Maloney's 2nd All-Star appearance. He played in last year's All-Star game as well at Long Island. The Rangers' 1st-round draft pick back in '78.
Here's Rob Ramage, a high shot off a stick and over the glass and into the crowd.
This game is authorized under television rights granted by the National Hockey League. It is presented solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, and other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Hockey League is strictly prohibited.
Puck shot in by Coffey. Chico Resch handling that. Now Dennis Potvin. Forecheck by Savard. Had to clear it on left wing to Don Maloney. Ramage held it in, but Potvin blocked his shot and gives it to number 12, Maloney. Maloney for the Wales to Potvin. Potvin tied up, but cleared it to the line. Savard comes right back for the Campbell Conference ahead to Vaughn. Now Darcy Rhoda trying to break it up. Here's Maloney shooting at the center, and Paul Coffey has it for the Campbell. And across the line, trying to center one, did. Five banned on his shot, and Sorella cleared it on the wing, and here comes Maloney. Got it near the line. Savard back-checking, breaks it up. Then he lost it back to Don Maloney. And then Rob Ramage has it for the Campbell Conference. Ahead to Steve Yzerman. Yzerman in with five, but poking it away was Phil Housley. Here's Yzerman. Two shots, both of them were blocked. And Rick 5 centers one. And Dennis Potvin tries to clear it, does get it to Maloney, who laid it off the board to the Campbell line. Here's Doug Wilson trying to clear it in. Housley knocks that away and feeds it to Michel Goulet, number 15. Doug Wilson cleared his centering pass away. Now Wilson trying to get it out. Housley held it into Tim Kerr. Shoots one. Blocked that to defense, and right back comes Bellows. Meanwhile, David Babbitt, who had blocked the shot, slow in getting up, and that's why players go. The Whales leading the Campbell Conference here in the All-Star game, 5-3.
There is a special feeling in Oldsmobile.
What makes the new Olds Forenza a whole lot of fun to drive? A whole lot of things. Forenza offers front-wheel drive, an available 5-speed and overhead cam engine, and handling as sporty as its name. But what makes this fun-to-drive car special is that it's an Oldsmobile. So it's not only fun to drive, it's fun to arrive.
There is a special feel in an Oldsmobile.
With Al Trudwig and Gary Green, this is Dan Kelly. We're at LeBurn Meadowlands Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Wales Conference leading this game 5-3, and the Wales on the attack with Michel Goulet dropping it back, and Peter Stastny was checked, and here comes Yzerman for the Campbell Conference. But the play is offside at the Wales blue line. Now here is Al Trudwig again.
And I'm with late-night entertainer Alan Thicke, who's our spy in the Campbell Conference locker room. In between periods, Alan, what happened?
Well, it's a home team for the Wales Conference, and they're playing a gentleman's game, but I think because the Wales are the home team, they jumped right out, and the Campbell guys were kind of caught flat-footed. They were mad about it in between periods, and they're taking it to them more in this second period.
Back to you, Dan.
There you see Brad Maxwell of the Minnesota North Stars, a member of the Campbell Conference Defensive Corps. He's paired up right now with Kevin Lowe of the Edmonton Oilers. It's Yzerman, Bellows, and Grodnick up front. But the Wales control right now. Rod Langway, pass at center ice for Peter Stastny. 2-on-1 break. Stastny centered it, and that puck was still loose, but referee Bruce Hood lost sight of it, so he had whistled the play down. For our local systems, we'll pause here. The NHL All-Star Game is coming your way on the USA Network.
At the end of the second period, I'll be back in the studio. You don't think I'd be in the studio and miss this game, do you? I'll be back in there after the period is over, and we'll be chatting with John Grodnick of the Detroit Red Wings, one of the top-notch left wingers in the league, along with Phil Housley, one of the surprising young stars in this league, and a big reason why the Buffalo Sabres are considered by many to be a strong contender in the Stanley Cup playoffs. After that, we'll talk to Bill and Dave Christian. They'll tell us about Youth Hockey Week. All that's coming up after the second period in the 36th All-Star Game.
6 minutes, 43 seconds left in the second period. The Wales Conference 5, Campbell Conference 3. Here's Brian Bellows for the Campbell Conference. To Yzerman at center, broken up by Michel Goulet. Now ahead on the wing, it's a drop pass to Stastny. Shooting, and he put it wide with a big slap shot. Langway had his shot blocked by Yzerman. Yzerman couldn't break away as Housley knocked it down. Now Paul Coffey moving in, and Langway got in front of the shot, and it went off Brad Langway and deflected over the glass. And Paul Coffey can be in top flight in about a half a stride, can't he?
Well, he certainly can, Dan, and that was an interesting one-on-one situation between two very fine defensemen, Paul Coffey and Rod Langway. Coffey being a great offensive defenseman and Langway being a fine defensive defenseman. Interesting one-on-one.
Here's Ramage from the point, a shot that Chico Rest got a piece of, and Ray Bork carries back for the Whales. Ahead to Peterson, to Brian Propp. Back to Barry Peterson. Peterson trying to center, goes to Rick Middleton. Middleton trying to flip it in front, now does. Knocked away by Coffey and then covered up on by Grant Fuhr. Fuhr and Coffey, both of the Edmonton Oilers, and with the Campbell Conference.
From Spruce Grove, Alberta, Grant Fuhr. Played in the 1982 All-Star Game. He was the starting goaltender.
They Face-off coming up with the Campbell end of the rink. Maxwell for the Campbells. Ahead now on the wing to Bernie Nichols. Nichols dumps it in. Charlie Simmer digging in after it. Centered, but Raymond Bourque was there to clear it away for the Whales. This is Doug Wilson. Now to Maxwell. Long pass at center. Barry Peterson hustling back to beat Nichols to it. Now Simmer, number 10. To Lanny McDonald. Broken up and cleared to Middleton. Middleton gives it to O'Connell. Number 20, Mike O'Connell, shoots off the shoulder of Grant Fuhr. And then cleared, but not up. Loose puck in front of the net. Fuhr was caught out of position. And the Campbell defense had to clear it. Here's Charlie Simmer. Simmer on the boards. Tied up. As Barry Peterson tied him up. Now Lanny McDonald at the other side couldn't center it. And number 26 is Brian Propp. Ahead to Peterson. Long flip shot handled by Fuhr. Here's Lowe with a pass to Gretzky. Number 99, Gretzky giving it to Glen Anderson, but the Whales come back, led by Matt Naslund, shoots one. Bad save by Fuhr. Anderson then cleared it. Gretzky just missed getting a break. And Dennis Potvin for the Whales. Over to Sorella, back to Potvin. Potvin carries the puck in, but Matt Naslund had gone in ahead of the play offside. Exclusively on the USA Network, it's the National Hockey League All-Star Game.
Toyota is turning the truck world upside down, including the competition's V6s. Introducing the new generation Toyota SR5 with a first-of-its-kind electronic fuel injection system that powers this Toyota from 0 to 30, 50, 55, faster than any competitor's V6. A lot of trucks will be eating this Toyota's dust in 1984.
Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
4 minutes, 16 seconds left in the second period. The Wales Conference 5, Campbell Conference 3. Puck in the neutral ice area. Sliding into the Wales zone now. Campbell's Gretzky gets it to Babich, into Anderson. Glove save by Rush. Rebound loose in front. Messier a shot. Resch got a piece of that. Now Wilson. That shot that Chico Resch got a piece of. And back comes Bellows. Now for Perreault. Gilbert Perreault shoots one. Fuhr the save as the Wales attack. Now going back is Langway. Langway tried to pass to Perreault, broken up. Now Housley tried to clear it. Here's Gretzky. Tried to center. Langway broke it up. Gretzky again. Centered, but Gilbert Perreault intercepting that. Now it's Rod Langway, number 4 for the Whales. To Mike Bullard, number 23. Bullard taken out of the play by Paul Coffey. And here comes Messier for the Campbell. Number 11, Messier. Now tied up by Langway. Messier gets it back to the point to Coffey. A drive and a stick save by Resch. And then he covered up on the rebound. Oh, they love Chico Resch here in New Jersey.
Good work. Well, you can hear Chico in the background. He's telling his team, way to work. Way to work, Chico. They're going to have a tough time, that is the Campbell's team, of putting any pucks by him in the remainder of this game, because I think he is one pumped-up goalie for tonight's game.
If you're going to mic any player, Chico Resch is a heck of a candidate. He's one of the most popular players that you'll come across in this league. Wouldn't you agree?
Couldn't agree more so, Dan. He may have a fine broadcasting career.
Way to go, Michael. Good job, buddy.
You see Dennis Savard, Mr. Excitement in Chicago. Well, a complete reversal here in the second period, Gary, by the Campbell Conference.
Campbells have really come on strong. Maybe entertainer Alan Thicke had something to it when he said he was playing the spy, and they were quite upset in between periods.
Here are the Whales with Ray Bourque clearing the puck to center. Paul Coffey back to get it for the Campbells. Giving it to Rob Ramage, now to Savard. Back to Ramage, failed to clear it, but Rick Vibe is there. Now a man wide open, he scores! Wide open in front of the net was Pierre LaRouche. And a big mistake by the Campbell Conference in their own end of the rink. And Mr. LaRouche makes it 6-3 for the Whales.
Well, also a very fine move here by LaRouche, but he was left totally unguarded. It's not easy for him right now playing on that wing, but he seems to adapt to it very well.
LaRouche has been a 50-goal scorer with two different teams in the league. Pittsburgh and Montreal. He's now with the Rangers and could get 50 this year. Now Dennis Savard to Paul Coffey. Coffey for the Campbells to Savard, now to Ramage. Ramage shooting it off the boards. Broken up by Bork. Cleared down the ice. Going back to get it is Coffey. And Coffey gives it to Savard. Back to Paul Coffey. Now to Rick Vibe, number 22. At center ice to Savard. Dennis Savard trying to go around Sorella. Puck still loose. Centered, but nobody is there. And Dennis Potvin feeds Michel Goulet. Now to Stosny. Back to Goulet. Wales moving in. Drop pass to Kerr. Couldn't get a shot away. And the Campbells clear it to center ice. Bork shoots it right back up. And then the puck winds up going up over the board. That last scoring play, LaRouche from Johnson and Maloney, 17:34 the time, gives the Whales a 6-3 lead.
Well, as we take a look at Dennis Savard and the bench with that face mask on, he's had his nose broken a number of times this year so far. He's had a rough one. Joe Sorella taking out Savard. Sorella, a big, strong defenseman with the New Jersey Devils.
Here is Maxwell to Kevin Lowe. Got it to center, and John Ogrodnik gives it to Maxwell. Clearing near the line. Sorella knocked it away. We're in the final minute of the second period. Some wide open offense here, and a 6-3 lead for the Whales. Here's Yzerman. Shoots one high off the glass. Yzerman again, the rookie from Detroit, to Maxwell. In on the wing to Ogrodnik. Now behind the net to Brian Bellows. Yzerman unable to center it. And the Whales start back. Tim Kerr just flipping along backhander in. Kevin Lowe is there to get it. Lowe shot it off the boards. Now the Campbell Conference attack, and Bellows, number 23, drops one back. Centered for Ogrodnik, but the pass was behind him and shot out of there by Michel Goulet. Doug Wilson chases back to get it. Wilson giving it to Maxwell. 5 seconds left in the period. Maxwell's long shot. Resch a stick save, and that will end the second period. 4 goals scored in the period. 3 by the Campbell Conference, 1 by the Whales.
Guys, good job. Way to go, guys. Go, Pierre. Nice goal, Michael. Way to work, guys.
Shots on goal in that period, or in the game so far, favoring the Campbells 27-25. Coming up, 2 of the newer stars in the NHL, John Ogrodnik of Detroit, Phil Housley of Buffalo, the young man from St. Paul, Minnesota, will visit our USA studio and visit with Al Drudwick. After 2 periods, the Whales 6, the Campbells 3.
The Rebels from Ole Miss shoot it out with the Auburn Tigers on USA's College Basketball 84 at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific tonight.
Playboy. It brings you the best of everything. Behind the pages of Playboy, you'll find the authors who create the best sellers.
You've had a year of success.
Yes, I have.
Interviewers who reveal the person behind the personality. Playboy's cartoonists point out the humor in today's world with a rare mix of art and wit. And then there's Playboy's photographers, masters at capturing the beauty of the world's most breathtaking women.
Good.
Playboy also tips you off to the latest styles and tunes you into the hottest sounds. Playboy, the magazine that gives you a monthly ticket to the best of the good life. And right now, you can get 12 months of Playboy delivered right to you for only $18.50. That's half the newsstand price. So enjoy the very best, the wit, wisdom, and imagination of today's most creative people. Become a Playboy subscriber and step into the exciting world of Playboy. To order your subscription, here's all you do.
Phone toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. Get 12 issues of Playboy for only $18.50. That's half the newsstand price. So phone toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. That's 1-800-USA-1000.
The All-Star Game is a collection of the NHL's greatest players. The NHL All-Star Program is the greatest collection of statistics, pictures, and stories about this gala event. From Eddie Shore to Wayne Gretzky, the program provides a colorful, fact-filled chronicle of hockey's best players and most thrilling All-Star moments. Even if you can't be at the game, you can still share in the excitement with your own copy of the official All-Star Program. Just send $6 check or money order along with your name and address to All-Star Magazine, P.O. Box 1750, New York, New York, 10153. After 2 periods of play, the Wales Conference 6, but the Campbell Conference, with 3 goals in that second period, comes back to trail by only 3 after trailing after the first period, 5-0. We're live on USA Sports at the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and this, of course, is the 36th All-Star Game. 2 players who will take home a lot more than an All-Star program, they'll take home a lot of memories from this game, are John Ogrodnik and Phil Housley. For John Ogrodnik, his 3rd appearance in the All-Star Classic, and for Phil Housley of the Buffalo Sabres, his first. John, I'd like to start with you. You've been here twice before, yet I understand that you were very, very uptight before this game. What's the story?
I don't know what it is, though. You know, it's, out of the 4 years I've been playing in the National Hockey League, I've never been uptight or nervous for a game, but I guarantee you that the 3 All-Star appearances that I've made, I've been nervous. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's starting off, skating out to center ice and facing the camera, It's something about it.
Now, you scored your 2nd All-Star goal tonight. How big of a thrill is that for you?
Oh, it meant a lot to me. It was, I was nervous, I was uptight, so, when you get a goal like that, it just tends to relax you and gets you back to your normal game.
On to Phil Housley, and the butterflies were what in your stomach, Phil?
Oh, I was really nervous before the game, and then made a couple bad plays, but after the first period, it went away, and then started to come back and play.
Now, Gilbert Perreault has been here a few times. Did he say anything to you before the game?
No, not really. He's just having a good time and trying to enjoy himself, just like me, and if I wanted to ask him something, I guess I could. It's the 7th All-Star appearance.
Now, Phil, you've been very versatile with the Buffalo Sabres. You've played defense, you've played up front. How is Al Arbour using you in this All-Star game?
Definitely at defense. That's where I was voted, and I enjoy playing defense, and I always will.
Now, John, we're going to get a chance to look at your goal. It came in the second period. Your team was hurting there for a while, partner.
Oh, I know it was. It was a little scary. They're down 5-0, I think, after the first period.
Do you remember what happened here?
Well, Steve Yzerman made a good play off the face-off here, and I think the whole key was that you can see Brian Bell was holding off, I think it was Pierre LaRouche. And, I looked up, I took my time on it, and, I'm not picking any corners. I'm just trying to get as hard as I can and right on the net.
Now, the obvious thing coming there is that Steve Yzerman was the one who won the face-off. He's a teammate of yours in Detroit. Is that anything that you've worked on or done before with Steve?
Definitely. Steve's a right-handed centerman, and, the past couple of years after they made that trade and traded Dale McCourt, I had a left-handed centerman, so on a face-off like that, him being a right-handed, he's able to draw it on his backhand to me, which is the easiest position for him.
John, how do you approach the game mentally as far as how hard you're going to go in the game, as far as hitting and so forth?
I don't know. I think it's. I don't really think about that. I think it's just because I'm so nervous before the game starts that I'm just afraid to make a bad mistake or trip on or fall on my face or something stupid like that. I'm not worried about how hard I'm going to play.
Phil, I wonder what went on in your locker room after the first period when you were up 5-0. It seemed like a boat ride then, real cruise.
Well, before the game, I tell you, I didn't know what to think. I was never here before, and I didn't know how to approach it. But after coming in after the first period, being ahead 5-0, I was very comfortable. But knowing the Campbell Conference, how many good forwards they had, they came back with 3 quick goals.
As far as thrills go, your NHL career is not short, but not long. But is this your best thrill so far?
Yes, definitely. When I found out, I was so excited. I really didn't expect to be here my second year, but when I sat down and thought about it, I really didn't know what did I do to be here. But I'm glad to be here, and I'm just going to try to represent my teammates back in Buffalo as best I can.
Quickly, tell me what you think about the way John Ogrodnik plays hockey.
Well, when he's coming screaming down on the winger, it's tough to stand up on him.
John, what do you think about the way Phil Housley plays hockey?
You got to play his body. He's very tricky on his feet. He can turn on a dime, and he can handle the puck very well. So you got to play his body. If you start playing the puck on him, he can turn you inside out pretty quick.
Thanks, guys. Really enjoy watching you play tonight. John Ogrodnik and Phil Housley of the Wales and Campbell Conference All-Star teams at the Meadowlands Arena tonight. Back in 1978, the only overtime game ever played in NHL All-Star competition, Gilbert Perreault scored it, and guess where the game was? That's right, at the Aud in Buffalo, and that sent the place screaming. Wales 3, Campbell's 2, the only OT game. Coming up, we're going to tell you about Youth Hockey Week in the United States, and that means a chat with Dave and Bill Christian, one of the most successful hockey families in the United States. 6-3, Wales over the Campbells. Back live on USA in a moment.
There is a special feeling in Oldsmobile.
Now, don't get the wrong impression. I didn't get this Cutlass Sierra just for fun.
But this car is the most fun I've had in a long time.
Because the Cutlass Sierra handles as smart as it looks. And that's fun you can feel. Of course, man does not drive for fun alone. But maybe he should.
There is a special feel in an Oldsmobile.
Tired of those high fuel prices? Well, guess what? They're not getting any lower. Fight back with the Attic Blanket from Owens Corning. It's the most powerful roll of thermal protection you can buy. Before fuel bills put you in the red, get the Attic Blanket and put your house in the pink. Owens Corning, building products that put your house in the pink.
Back live on USA Sports in New Jersey, just across the Hudson River from the Big Apple after 2 periods of play. Wales Conference 6, Campbell Conference 3. A lot of goals in this game so far. Take a look at these youngsters. Perhaps one day they too will be appearing in the NHL All-Star Game. They're all part of the youth hockey movement in the United States. It's growing, and it is a very important week for them coming up in the United States. It is Youth Hockey Week. And along with me in the USA Sports studio today, 2 members of a very active family in the youth hockey movement. Bill Christian, a winner of the United States gold medal back at Squaw Valley in 1960, and Dave Christian, who followed his dad's efforts in 1980 with the U.S. Olympic team. That in itself must be a big thrill. But Bill, why are you here with me tonight? What is Youth Hockey Week?
Well, I'm here because the 4th through the 12th is Youth Hockey Week, and it's a week set aside by the Amateur Hockey Association of the United States that they're the governing body of the amateur hockey, and we're the spokesman for their week. We're the honorary co-chairman of Youth Hockey Week in the United States.
Now, Dave, we were just joking that your father got a handshake when he won the gold medal. You got a ring and all the glory. How did you get involved in the youth hockey movement?
Oh, I was asked by a house if I would represent them and be a spokesman for them, and I went through their program and was associated with them through minor hockey and also with the Olympic team. So, I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Bill, what happens during that week?
Well, I think we try to honor people, volunteers, coaches, players, make people aware of the great things that amateur hockey can do for kids and well, everybody that's involved in youth hockey, coaches, parents, just to show the people the good things that can happen to boys that play hockey.
And Dave, for all the young players across this country who are looking forward to that week and who look forward to just playing hockey any old time they can lace up the skates, what can they notice about a game like the one they're watching tonight? What can they spot? How can they emulate these stars?
Well, I think the biggest thing that they can see from this game is that the players are having fun at the game and they're enjoying it. They're working hard, but also it's a game that you have to enjoy to be able to play well, and that comes first. And if you enjoy the game, then you can work hard at it and you can play well at it.
Bill, what do you think about what your son's done with his hockey career?
Well, I think it's really great. I'm very happy for him. I didn't go quite as far as he did, but I enjoyed every minute of it, and I still enjoy hockey a great deal.
Dave, was there any choice for you to play hockey, or was it just all assumed when you were growing up that you were gonna play this game?
Well, I was pretty much born with skates on. The part of the country I come from, northern Minnesota, there's not much else to do during the winter except play hockey.
Bill, what have you thought about the game so far? Boy, one period it was dominated by one team, and then the other team comes back with 3 straight.
Well, I like it. There's a lot of. I'm a forward, so I like the offensive part of the game, and we're certainly seeing a lot of offense there tonight. It's wide open, and it's just fun to watch different players make their different moves and stuff. It's really enjoyable.
Have you been back to Squaw Valley since your big day there?
No, I haven't.
You're kidding. You got to go back and relive it. How about you? Have you been back to Lake Placid since you won?
No, I haven't. I don't think it would ever be the same if I went back there.
You two guys need some travel. Well, thanks very much to Bill Christian and to Dave Christian telling us about Youth Hockey Week in the United States. And we're going to wave the red, white, and blue just a little bit and take a look at all the American-born players who are currently playing in the National Hockey League. I think you'll be surprised because it's quite a list. This is amazing.
Honda would like to make a point about the new car. It goes an EPA estimated 51 miles per gallon, 67 highway. It's the #1 gas mileage car in America, period. The new Honda Civic CRX, the longest distance between 2 points.
There's too much sameness in the way most of us lead our lives. But taking a vacation up there is a decision to do something different.
Alaska is an eagle that I want to fly across the sea of castles, reaching for the sky. Alaska is the part of me left unexplored. Alaska is the warming sun on a misty fjord. She is the mystery that I will never tame. She is Alaska, Alaska. Alaska is her name.
Once you've gone to Alaska, you'd never come all the way back. It's that special.
Alaska.
There's a thief in this attic. This skimpy amount of insulation can rob you blind on your fuel bills.
Fight back with the attic blanket from Owens Corning. It's the thickest, most powerful roll of thermal protection you can have. It can help you save money on your fuel bills.
It is an open and shut case.
Owens Corning, building products that put your house in the pink.
After 2 periods in the 36th NHL All-Star Game, the Prince of Wales Conference 6, the Clarence Campbell Conference 3. In that second period, 3 goals in a row by the Campbell Conference. Savard at 123, Rhoda at 551, Grodnick at 642, and then LaRouche got the Wales Conference back on the board with a goal late in the period at 17:34. Dan Kelly and Gary Green up in our USA broadcast booth. 2 different games, really. Wales dominate the first. Campbell's dominate most of the second.
I think when you get embarrassed as badly, Dan, as the Campbell Conference did in that first period, even though the shots on net were equal, when you get 5 goals scored on you, you don't get one. You're bound to come out in that next period and play an awful lot better.
Let's look at one of the goals we saw in that second period, another Wales goal by Pierre LaRouche.
Well, there was a mistake made here, and that was allowing Pierre LaRouche in the first place to get in that position. You see he was all alone. That puck kind of bobbled off of Coffey. He was back and behind. Ramage trying to get back in time, but it was way too late. Pierre LaRouche making a fancy little move there in front of the net area, beating Fuhrer. And I'll tell you, he's looked pretty good on wing.
What do we look for in period 3? More of the same, wide open offense, I mean?
Well, I think if you ask me, Dan, and whatever I tell, it's going to be the opposite anyway, the way tonight's game going. But I think they're going to have a difficult time, the Campbell's Conference, that is, in putting anything by Chico Resch in this third period.
He's playing in his home rink, and the crowd have given him a great reception, Chico Resch, as he took over midway in that second period. The NHL on USA is brought to you by Honda, makers of the Accord LX 4-door sedan. Here we go to the third period. You'll remember a year ago, Wayne Gretzky exploded for 4 goals in the third period. So even though the Whales have a 6-3 lead, this one is far from over with the high-scoring offense that both of these teams have. Here we go with period 3, and immediately the Campbell Conference with Paul Coffey controlling it. Lead pass to Gretzky. Chased back by Ray Bourque. Bourque able to clear it away. Bourque, number 7, gets it to Stosny at center. He was checked, and Messier now drops it back into his own zone to Ramage. And as Ramage cleared it, the puck flipped up over the boards into the crowd.
Well, there's a special hello to everyone involved. The fans making up that sign. This is a jam-packed arena here tonight. People turning out to this beautiful building. And Dan, this has to be one of the most beautiful buildings in the NHL.
It just may be the best. Here is Coffey for the Campbell Conference. Paul Coffey, number 7. Trying to go wide on Bourque. He did. A shot. Save on the short side, and then able to smother it. Chico Resch. He came out of the University of Minnesota Duluth. Played in the International Hockey League. After that, worked his way up through the minors. By the way, Bud Boyle, the commissioner of the Central Hockey League and the International League, is in attendance here tonight. Wants to say hello to all the member teams in those 2 leagues. Face off. Coming to Ramage at the point. Shot right on, and Resch the save. Shot off the boards. Coffey held it in, and then Mike O'Connell flips it to the Campbell blue line. Rob Ramage back for it to Glen Anderson at center, but he is checked by Goulet, and now Kerr, number 17, dumps it in. Paul Coffey back together. Coffey shoots it around onto the other wing, and Rob Ramage, number 5 for the Campbell Conference. At center to Messier, broken up. And now Stosny drops it back to Potvin, over to Joe Cirella. Shot to center, Wilson knocking it down to Glen Anderson, number 8. Here's Anderson. Tried to center one, but he was too closely checked on the play by Potvin. Now Anderson again to Gretzky. To Anderson, one-handed shot, blocked by Cirella. Brian Krupp breaks away to Rick Middleton. Middleton, number 16 for the Whales. Living at for Barry Peterson, and he's run into the boards. Doug Wilson now trying to clear it. Here's Cirella. Shoots one. Fuhrer came away out, made a tough body save, and then it's cleared out of there. Icing will be called against the Campbell Conference on the play.
Well,
tough save for Grant Fuhrer.
Really was, Dan. I was afraid that he may have gotten that in the throat area. It was a high shot coming off the stick of Cirella. Watch this. Cirella really blasted as well. Lots of time. Big wind up, but I guess it was just up in the high chest area.
That's the play where the goaltender just comes out and makes that puck hit him. I don't think you need a little intestinal fortitude to do that with that puck going 100 miles an hour.
Imagine what a nightmare it is for the goaltenders during this All-Star game. You've got the best shooters in the league.
Thank you. Bruce Hood, the referee, and an up-close look at Al Arbor. Face off in the Campbell zone, a 6-3 Wales lead. Face off will be to the left of the Campbell goal. As we're having a delay here for some reason, I'm really not sure why.
Lay down up there.
I think someone may have had a light on down in the crowd somewhere, or a flash of some kind, and that's why they wait for that to get rectified. Now Maxwell, as the Campbells try and move it out, Gilbert Perreault held it in. Now Perreault dropping it back and giving it to Langway over to Housley. Still Housley to Perreault at center ice. Flips it ahead onto the wing, and there's the tough check, toughest of the night by Kevin Lowe, as he got a piece of Mike Bullard. Now the Campbells attack, and it's centered. Rest cleared it away, and Housley gives it to Perreault. Off the boards for Bullard, but Lowe back for the Campbell Conference. Now ahead to Rhoda. Now to Maxwell, moving in, but in ahead of the play and offside was Rick Vide. Coast-to-coast coverage of the All-Star Game is only on the USA Network.
There's no way to describe what Alaska is. A vacation up there is too special for that.
Isn't it time you discovered what a vacation to Alaska can mean to you? To get your free Alaska vacation brochure, call toll-free 800-228-9700. Anytime, day or night. That number is 800-228-9700. So write it down and call for your free Alaska vacation brochure. Call 800-228-9700.
Teddy Roosevelt once said, walk softly, carry a big stick. Well, he'd appreciate this souvenir, the 1984 All-Star Game, signed by all the players here. It's quite a souvenir. I don't even get to keep one. Back to the action, Dan.
Al Trotwood's having a good time tonight, isn't he?
He really is, Dan. He's all over this building.
6-3, the Wales Conference leading. Campbell Conference led by Paul Coffey on the attack. Mike O'Connell breaks it up, and Pierre LaRouche flips it to Raymond Bourque. Bourque got it into the zone, and then it's flipped in behind the net. Coffey back to pick it up. Coffey unable to clear it. A centering try by LaRouche, and Agrodnik intercepted and clears it to center. Eiserman in across the line, but the play is offside at the Wales Conference blue line. John Agrodnik, whom you met in our intermission with Al Trutwig of the Detroit Red Wings.
He's the first Detroit player since Gordie Howe back in 1970 to be voted to the starting berth in the mid-season All-Star Game.
You see the score, 6-3 Wales, 16:43 left in the third period. Here's Joe Cirella, dumping it in. Dave Babbitt for the Campbells, back to try and clear it. Now Doug Wilson shooting it on the board. Charlie Simmer couldn't get it out of there. Cirella at the point, fires it into the corner. Loose puck, cleared away and taken by Simmer. At center ice with a lead pass to Lanny McDonald, dropping it back. Centered, but intercepting it was Goulet. Now Doug Wilson held it in. Potvin able to clear it again for the Wales. And Grant Fuhr played it on the boards to Dave Babbitt. His pass up the middle to Bernie Nichols, number 12. Nichols to McDonald. That shot off the stick and up into the crowd.
Well, Charlie Simmer from the Los Angeles Kings. He's playing along on a line tonight. There's Nichols and Bellows. Nichols being a center iceman from the Los Angeles Kings as well.
Here's the new Campbell line over the boards. Gretzky with Messier and Vide. Barry Peterson on the faceoff, now at the point. Shot by Maxwell off the glass. Cleared by Housley to Rick Middleton. Held in by Lowe for the Campbells. A shot just wide. Now Maxwell at the other point. Did a good job of holding it in, but then the Whales clear it. Low back after it, giving it to number 11, Messier. Mark Messier can really skate. Bumped by Rod Langway. Puck behind the net. Now Gretzky centered one. Off a skate and right to Rick Middleton. Now to Barry Peterson. Back to Middleton, number 16. Into Peterson. Backhander, Fuhr to his knees to make a glove save. Campbell's clear it. At center, picked up by Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky drops it to Lowe, poked into the corner.
You okay, go Barry?
Now it comes to Lowe again at the point. And Housley feeds to Barry Peterson, but Maxwell intercepts. Puck comes to the Wales blue line. Rod Langway shot it back up. Now cleared in by Brian Kropp. In after it is Mike Bullard of the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's for the Wales Conference. Over to Raymond Bourque, a shot. Great save by Fuhr. Now a big slap shot by Naslund, and he fanned on it. Campbell's come back. Darcy Rhoda to Gretzky. Gretzky couldn't get around Ray Bourque. And it's fired out of there by Perreault. Here's Paul Coffey. Gretzky, by the way, is injured as he goes to the Campbell bench. As he took that last check, he had a bad shoulder, we told you. Here's By breaking in. Puck rolled into the goal crease and was grabbed by Chico Resch. The Wales Conference leading the Campbell Conference here in the third period, 6-3.
The line. The hood line is low for less wind resistance and more visibility. The roof line is long for more headroom and usable space. The outline is aerodynamic for more performance. The new line of Civic hatchbacks from Honda. The line is drawn for the future.
Well, here's that body check. He's almost sandwiched in that position, and that's got to hurt that shoulder that has been bothering him for a while now. He showed some real pain on his face when he came to the bench.
Yeah, he really did. He had that shoulder drooped down, winced in pain. Now here's Rhoda with a shot off a stick as the Campbell Conference, who trail by 3 goals, try and put on some pressure. And they may have to do it the rest of this game without the great number 99 from the way he went to the bench after that last check.
Well, that's what a lot of people are probably thinking right now, Dan, but you and I know Wayne Gretzky well. It's tough to keep him off the ice, even when he's hurting.
Now here's Naslund for the Whales. Upended, but got away a weak shot. You're clearing it to Paul Coffey. Coffey fires it to center. Ray Bourque back to get it. They rule it. That puck bounced into the Campbell bench and then back onto the ice again. You look at Raymond Bourque of the Boston Bruins, one of the very best defensemen in the NHL.
What a couple of moves he's put on tonight. One just recently. He really can handle that puck.
Here's Mike O'Connell giving it to Bourque. Bourque got to the line. Now tried to center one. Did. And the shot by Bullard is wide. Ramage lost it. Here's Bullard. Out in front. Fuhr the save. Bullard another poke at it. Campbell's come back but couldn't clear it as Vibe copped it up. Now the puck taken by Naslund. Centers. Coffey intercepted. He leads the 4-man Campbell rush. Over to Rhoda. In across the line, and Mike O'Connell broke it up. Back the Wales come. Bullard, number 23. Skated off in the corner by Babbitt. Dave Babbitt fired it out to Bellows. He couldn't get it out of the zone. Going back again is Coffey. Where did Sorella held it in? Now in front to Don Maloney. He's checked. Now a chance again. They score! Don Maloney. Set up by Mark Johnson. Well, Don Maloney and Mark Johnson have been heavy contributors to the Wales offense. Here's the play by Johnson.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a very smart play by Mark Johnson. He kind of risked going right into heavy traffic area. And smart enough then to see Don Maloney coming up on his left side, fed him beautifully with that pass. They have really played well together tonight, Johnston, Maloney, and LaRouche.
Don Maloney of the New York Rangers. Now the Campbells on the attack, but Mark Johnson is there to break it up. To Pierre LaRouche. Now to Cirella. Knocked away by Doug Wilson. Campbell Conference behind by 4 now. They flip it to center ice. Picked up by Steve Yzerman. Now Wilson cleared to Babbitt, but the play is offside at the Wales blue line. For our local systems, we'll pause here. The 36th NHL All-Star Classic is coming to you on USA.
The All-Star Game is a collection of the NHL's greatest players. The NHL All-Star Program is the greatest collection of statistics, pictures, and stories about this gala event. From Eddie Shore to Wayne Gretzky, the program provides a colorful, fact-filled chronicle of hockey's best players and most thrilling All-Star moments. You can get your own copy. Just send $6, check or money order along with your name and address to All-Star Magazine, P.O. Box 1750, New York, New York 10153.
12 minutes, 10 seconds left in regulation time. 7-3, the Wales Conference leading. Don Maloney with a goal and 3 assists, a big man for the Wales. Mark Johnson has had 3 assists. Pierre LaRouche has had a couple of goals. They've been the big scorers. Here's the Grodnick for the Campbell Conference, number 25. Drops it to Babbitt. Babbitt shoots, he scores! David Babbitt with a shot right along the ice. And he really seemed to handcuff Chico Resch with that shot.
We'll have to watch a little closer. But I think perhaps that Chico Resch was screened on the play. Take a look at Babbage. Well, I'm not so sure that he was now. Maybe just not ready. But Babbage, good shot, moving in quickly, receives that pass and picks the spot perfectly.
The Campbell Conference goal scored by number 44, Dave Babbitt.
Dave Babbitt got that goal. It cuts the Wales lead to 7-4. Campbell Conference attack again. John Grodnick couldn't make the deflection at the side of the net. Now it's cleared behind the goal, and Langway and Yzerman battle for it. Rod Langway shoots it over onto the right wing side to Tim Kerr. Doug Wilson pinched in to hold it in, but now the Wales a 2-on-1. Goulet with Stosny. Back to Goulet, broken up at the defense by Dave Babbitt. And then a Grodnick cleared it to center ice. This is Housley. Over to Langway. Now to Tim Kerr, headmanning it to Peter Stosny, number 27. Stosny tied up by Maxwell. Stosny again. Tries to center. He'll get a penalty on that play. Bellows comes up with the puck. But now a holding penalty coming up against Brad Maxwell of the Campbell Conference.
Maxwell holding.
You heard Bruce Hood with the call. We'll be back in East Rutherford, New Jersey for the NHL All-Star Game after this spot.
Picture a battle between the NHL's 2 most heralded clubs. Picture a head-to-head matchup between the league's elite. The great Gretzky, Yari Curry, Mark Messier, Mike Bossy, Billy Smith. Picture the return engagement of last year's Stanley Cup final. Unparalleled excitement is about to develop. The Edmonton Oilers meet the New York Islanders on USA's Special Edition NHL. Tuesday, live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Our coverage will not be seen in the New York area.
A holding call on that last play to Brad Maxwell. He's number 6 for the Campbell Conference. There you see why he's in the penalty box. Wales on the power play, and Ray Bourque drills a shot wide. Gretzky's back out there for this Campbell team, even though he was injured earlier. And Gretzky has the puck on the boards. Kevin Lowe then able to clear it, and Bourque goes back to get it. Bourque to O'Connell. Now picked up by Propp. Off the boards to number 10, Barry Peterson. Peterson into the center ice area to Bourque, now to O'Connell. In for Propp. Brian Propp, number 26, to O'Connell. Back to Propp, over to Bourque. Center to O'Connell, who deflected it wide. Middleton tries to center. Now Lowe, tied up by Middleton, who tries to work it in front. Rick Middleton still working to get that puck. Finally cleared out of there by Messier for the Campbell Conference. This is Bork to O'Connell. They head to 16, Middleton. Dumped in, and Doug Wilson goes back to get it. Shooting it on the boards. Lanny McDonald tries to clear it, and one off a skate held in by Joe Cirella. Shot around on the boards. And it comes to center ice with Bork back to get it. Bork to Middleton. Missed him, goes down the ice, and the Whales were on their own side of center when they shot it in, so it's an icing call as you look at Rob Ramage of the St. Louis Blues.
We should mention at this time as well, Dan, we've talked about injured players that are not in the lineup tonight that were supposed to have been. Al Jensen from the Washington Capitals, Mike Bossy and Brian Trottier from the New York Islanders, Marcel Dion from the LA Kings, Yari Curry from the Oilers, and Tony Tonte from the Vancouver Canucks.
34 seconds left in the penalty to Maxwell of the Campbell Conference. The Whales leading 7-4 and on a power play right here. Cirella to Perreault. Ramage checks him. And Ramage cleared it but not out. Potvin to Naslund, back to Cirella. Shot behind the net. Rob Ramage tries to clear it. Potvin, good play to hold it in. Now Gretzky has it for the Campbell. Gretzky maneuvering, giving it to Ramage. Now to Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky kills the penalty off, drops it to Ramage, shoots one. Blocked in front of the net, and the Whales come back. Penalized player back on, so the Campbells are at full strength. Here's Ramage feeding it to Charlie Simmer. Simmer centers a shot, and then Gretzky scores. After Vibe had been stopped, it came right to Gretzky, and somehow from the far side of the net, he was able to poke it in. I don't think Vibe got the goal. I think it came to Gretzky. Let's watch and see.
Well, it took a crazy bounce there. Let's take a look at it. Good pass right across the Vibe. He let it go, but as Dan had indicated, I think it hit the post, the right post, and then bounced over. There was Wayne Gretzky. Well, I think it hit the pad of Chico Resch as well as the post. Gretzky right there, the right spot.
That's the 12th goal of this game, and that ties an NHL All-Star record that we set last year with 12 goals. And we still have over 8 minutes left in this one. 7-5, the Wales Conference lead has been cut. Here's Phil Housley for the Wales. Into Don Maloney. Now to LaRouche. This is the line that has done most of the damage for the Wales. Johnson, LaRouche, and Don Maloney. Now Dennis Savard, number 18. Tried to center. LaRouche is there to break it up. Number 28, Pierre LaRouche. Leaving it for Joe Cirella. Now back to LaRouche. Moves in, and blocking it in front of the net was Kevin Lowe. Now a break for Rick Vibe. Shoots one, and he blasted that wide of the net. Puck comes back to the Campbell line. Here's Dennis Savard. Up the middle for Vibe. Vibe breaks in. Shoots. He missed by about a foot. Now David Babbitts gets it into the corner. Kicked loose by Darcy Rota. Savard couldn't center it. And the Whales clear it. Doug Wilson made a good play to hold it in. Now Vibe. His shot blocked by Housley. Got it to center ice, and now Tim Kerr. Checked by Babbitts, and Bellows shot it to center ice. Wales with Mike O'Connell. Giving it to Kerr. Tim Kerr flipping it in. Grant Fuhr handles that, gives it to Babbitts. Now head on the wing for Bellows, who got it into the zone, but Ray Bork there for the Whales to now intercepting it. Here's Bellows again out in front, and a Grodnick fanned on it in front of that net. Behind the goal to Bellows. In front, Yzerman missed the pass. The Whales come back. Here's Kerr, number 17, and Babbitts got a skate on it. Now a Grodnick leaving it for Steve Yzerman. Yzerman drops it, and Kerr was there defensively to intercept and feed a pass to Brian Propp. And a save by Fuhr as Propp was in alone. Big save there by Fuhr. Coffey tries to clear it and does to center. Shot back in, Fuhr out of the net to clear one to center ice. Picked up by Yzerman, number 19. Yzerman couldn't get around Dennis Potvin. Now fired over onto the boards. Heavy collision there. Loose puck near the net. We're going to get a penalty on that last play as Chico Resch is all tangled up with Yzerman. Yzerman coming up with the puck. The Whales are going to get a penalty. Now it's centered, and I believe it will be Chico Resch, the goaltender, who will get the interference penalty. The 36th NHL All-Star Game returns on USA in just a moment.
Honda would like to make a point about the new car. It goes an EPA estimated 51 miles per gallon, 67 highway. It's the #1 gas mileage car in America, period. The new Honda Civic CRX. The longest distance between 2 points.
Hello, USA, and we say hello to you folks around the country. Hope you're enjoying the All-Star Game. Chico Resch gets a penalty on that last play. Here it is.
Well, watch right in front of the net area. Steve Yzerman tackled by Chico, and then they both had a difficult time getting up.
Well, the Wales lead has been cut to 7-5, and the Campbells on a power play right here. Only the third penalty of this game. Doug Wilson, who's a point man on this Campbell power play. Now here is Paul Coffey. Coffey gets it to Lanny McDonald, back to Coffey, and he dumps it in. Mike O'Connell back to try and clear it. Does poke it to center, and number 10, Charlie Simmer of the Los Angeles Kings, back for the Campbells, giving it to Coffey. They had it center to Simmer. Simmer tries to center, knocked away by Resch, cleared by Bork, but held in by Coffey.
Good play, good
and
play.
then he flipped it over the glass and into the crowd. We've had 12 goals in this game, equaling an all-star record last year and also in the 1976 game in Philadelphia. So another goal in this game, and we'd have our highest scoring all-star game ever.
Well, I think there's a lot to it, the fact that the players are so skilled, Dan. Exceptionally skilled when it comes to scoring offensively. We know the league has really run rapid the last few years. All very entertaining to the fans here in this building tonight. As they said earlier, a nightmare for goaltenders.
That last Campbell goal, by the way, Gretzky got it his 6th in All-Star play. Vibe and Simmer, the assists at 11:23. Campbell's with a chance. They're still on the power play. A minute left in the penalty. As Savard breaks through. And Rod Langway got behind the goaltender to stop it. Here's a centering pass, and Langway is there again. That's why he won the Norris Trophy as the best defenseman a year ago. Rod Langway. There's Savard. Now, Charlie Simmer, or at least Mark Messier, number 11, moving it in. Couldn't get around Rick Middleton. Messier gets it again, but Barry Peterson intercepted. Peterson and Middleton of the Boston Bruins are out as the penalty-killing forwards for the Whales. Peterson centered one. Nobody there, and here is Messier. To Gretzky. Gretzky trying to go around Langway. Tied up, centered it to Savard. Dennis Savard to Gretzky. Backhander. Bad save by Chico Resch, and then Gretzky flattened in front of the net. Langway comes up with it. And Langway clears it out of there to relieve the pressure. Kropp, who was serving the penalty for Resch, back on the ice, so the Whales have killed it off. For our local systems, we'll pause right here. The 36th NHL All-Star Game is coming your way on USA.
Well, the All-Stars have certainly used their tools well tonight. 12 goals in this 36th NHL All-Star Game. I'll be back in the USA studio. We'll be doing an interview with our USA MVP. Remember, the official MVP of the game receives a $14,000 car for his efforts. Now, Don Maloney has played a good game tonight. Mark Johnson of the Hartford Whalers, a player who struggled until he found a home in Hartford, has played well. And, of course, there are just a host of others. We'll see what develops in the final few seconds in this 36th All-Star Game.
3 minutes, 31 seconds left in regulation time. Wayne Gretzky refreshing himself at the Campbell bench. 7-5, the Wales Conference leading. Dumped in by Ray Bourque of the Wales. Rob Ramage back to get it. He spun around, knocked off the puck. Wales try and center one. Savard now poking it. Trying to get it to Rota. Here's a chance for Michel Goulet, but Ramage poked it to Dennis Savard. Now to Coffey. Back to Savard, number 18. Savard tried to center one. Couldn't quite get it to Rick Vaive, and Chico Resch just smothered the puck when it came near the goal tip.
Dennis Savard can really turn things on out there. A very flashy player. He's made a couple of fine rushes in this last few minutes. He's desperately trying to get this Campbell conference with another goal. 7-5 right now. They're down by 2.
3 players in this game. Mark Johnson, Rick Vaive, and Don Maloney have 3 assists. That ties the record. Don Maloney has a goal plus his 3 assists for a 4-point game. That ties another All-Star record. Here's a centering pass. Broken up, and Sorella tries to clear it. Now Sorella battling on the boards. Here's Yzerman for the Campbell Conference. Checked and knocked down, and then poked by Bourque to center ice. Campbell's Doug Wilson flipping it ahead to Yzerman. Yzerman tried to center one, broken up by Potvin. Now Doug Wilson couldn't get his shot away. Now a second try to Bellows. He scores! Brian Bellows with 2:23 left cuts the Wales lead to 7-6. 13 goals in this game, the most ever in an NHL All-Star game.
Well, what a play here by Doug Wilson. He was able to make that puck. He was able to find that room just to get it through. Bellows then picking it up. Just earlier, Steve Yzerman had done an excellent job as well. Campbell's really forechecking well, trying to get back. They're only down 1 goal.
7-6, the Wales lead has been cut to. We still have over 2 minutes left in regulation time, and if we're tied, we would play overtime and play overtime to a finish. Puck shot in by the Campbells. Lanny McDonald in to try and get it. Now get some help on the play. Puck comes back to McDonald, around on the boards to Nichols, but intercepted by Bullard. Bullard tries to clear it out and does to center ice. This is low for the Campbells. To Maxwell, shot to center. Bullard carries back in. He was too well checked. Now Bullard again, number 23. Centers one, a bouncing pass over the stick of Gilbert Perreault. Brad Maxwell firing it out of there to center ice. Langway going back to get it. 1:25 left in regulation play. 7-6, the Wales Conference leading. Paul Coffey lost it to Barry Peterson. Peterson flips it for Housley, but he was heading for the bench, and Rob Ramage gets it for the Campbell Conference. Long pass to Simmer at center ice. Now Ramage on the attack. Rob Ramage trying to center. Comes to Simmer at the blue line. Shoots wide of the net. We're in the final minute of regulation play. Paul Coffey at the point. Couldn't hold it in. Now Coffey loses it. Here's a chance for Kropp. Cleared away by Fuhr. Messier giving it to Coffey. Got it to center. Coffey still controlling it. Now to Gretzky. 40 seconds left. Gretzky into Glen Anderson. Centered. Middleton intercepts. Now Fuhr to the bench. 6 attackers for the Campbell Conference. Shot in by Ramage. Shot right back out by the Wales. Hit the linesman. Barry Peterson got it. He was checked. And here's Messier with 20 seconds left. Messier trying to center one. Peterson knocked it away. Now Coffey got it in front, but it's shot away. Rob Ramage held it in. Barry Peterson couldn't get it out. 8 seconds left. And now it is cleared over the glass with 6 seconds still remaining in regulation time.
Ladies and gentlemen, should the game end
Chico Resch and Mark Messier having a few words.
What a last few minutes we've had of this hockey game, Dan. Who would have ever expected it? After the Campbell Conference were down 5-0 after the first period. It has been some third period.
This faceoff is going to be outside the blue line. And we have 6 seconds left. 6 attackers on the ice for the Campbell Conference. One last ditch shot at it. And you see the time remaining. 13 goals in this game, an NHL All-Star record. Here we go with the Campbells lining 4 men up at the blue line. They get it to Anderson, a shot. Resch handled the shot easily. Cleared it to Goulet, and the game is over. And the Wales Conference hang on for a 7-6 victory over the Campbell Conference.
Good job, guys. Go, Peter. Way to go, Johnny.
An exciting finish we had. Good opportunity by the Campbell's Conference, even in the dying seconds.
Good job.
A heck of an all-star game.
Hard, Ricky boy. Thanks, buddy. Way to go. Good job. Good work.
Campbell Conference in this game
Thanks, Mike. Nice job.
outshot the Wales Conference 38-30.
Yeah, nice game, Barry boy. Good job.
And now the game ends with the Wales Conference holding on for a 7-6 lead. Hope you enjoyed the All-Star Classic, and we'll be right back in New Jersey in a minute.
Do you know how many of these motor oils would love to make this claim? This one can. Mobil 1, the official oil of the '84 Winter Olympics.
In the West, where Levi Strauss & Company began, how your clothes feel has always been just as important as how they look. That's why Levi's Action Slacks have an easy care fabric that gives, plus a waistband that moves with you. It's a feeling of comfort that's capturing more men every day. Levi's Action Slacks. A real comfort from Levi's Menswear.
Dad, look at this one.
Come see the Olympics in a whole new way. Come discover stamp collecting and salute women in the Olympics.
I hope that's me one day.
Bet it will be. So come to the post office and start your collection with the 1984 Olympic Series featuring women.
Aha, there's a thief in this attic. This skimpy amount of insulation can rob you blind on your fuel bill.
Fight back with the attic blanket from Owens Corning. It's the thickest, most powerful roll of thermal protection you can have. It can help you save money on your fuel bills.
It is an open and shut case.
Owens Corning, building products that put your house in the pink.
Don't forget, coming up right after our game tonight, it's College Basketball 84 as the Mississippi State Bulldogs take on the Auburn Tigers in a fast-paced Southeast Conference battle. That's coming up at 11 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, right here on USA, Mississippi and Auburn. What we saw tonight at the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford was the highest-scoring All-Star game ever. We saw 12 goals last year, 13 this year. Wales Conference defeating the Campbell Conference by a score of 7-6. And who would have thought it when the Wales Conference led 5-0 after the first period. Here's the third period scoring, and you can see how quickly the Campbell Conference made it tight. For Don Maloney, his second All-Star goal from Johnson and Sorella at 7:24. Then Dave Babich of the Winnipeg Jets at 8:11 brought the score back to 7-4. It was 7-5 when Wayne Gretzky scored his only goal of the game, his sixth All-Star goal, and that was at 11:23. And then at 17:37, setting the dramatic ending to this game, Brian Bellows of the Minnesota North Stars at 17:37, his first All-Star goal in his first All-Star appearance. Well, what Don Maloney did here tonight at the Meadowlands Arena was do something that only Ted Lindsay, Gordie Howe, Pete Mahovlich, and Wayne Gretzky had done. That's 4 points in a game. He did that tonight with a goal and 3 assists, and he has been named the MVP of the 36th All-Star Game. For his efforts, he will receive a $14,000 car. Lanny McDonald told me before the game that he thought he was going to win it, and he told Bob Johnson, the coach of the Calgary Flames, not to expect him in Calgary until Saturday because that's how long it took to drive the car there. But for Don Maloney, it's just simply a $2 toll across the George Washington Bridge to get it to Midtown Manhattan where the Rangers play. Upstairs we go to Dan Kelly and Gary Green, Dan having completed his 11th All-Star broadcasting exposure.
Thank you, Al Trudwig. Well, 13 goals in the game. What started off as a 5-0 Wales conference lead after one period turned into an interesting game, and they had to hang on to win it 7-6.
It really was. It did turn out to be an interesting game, Dan, and I just thank the Campbell conference immensely for not making me look totally stupid after that first period of play.
Meanwhile, Al Trudwig already explained Don Maloney with a goal and 3 assists, 4 points to tie a record in the MVP in this game. That line of Maloney, LaRouche, and Mark Johnson really was the difference in the game.
They really were. For that Wales conference team, Dan, I thought that line, which maybe coming into tonight's game, people might take a look at it and say, well, that's their fourth line. Well, if that's their fourth line, boy, they're darn lucky they had them, because they really led their team out there tonight. Mark Johnson played exceptionally well. I just think he's a very fine playmaker, and after the 1980 Olympics, now he's really starting to turn those wheels. He's enjoying life in Hartford and playing well. LaRouche, he's a new man out there in the ice. He has been right from the start of the season. He's really, I guess, reliving things again and getting the opportunity. And what more can we say? But he's looking like a 50-goal scorer. That's the Pierre LaRouche of old.
LaRouche had a couple of goals in the game. Mark Johnson, 3 assists, and the other member of the line, Don Maloney, a goal and 3 assists. Boy, the people really love goals, don't they? This place was exploding as those red lights were flashing on.
Well, they really do enjoy goals, Dan, and in all-star games last year and this year, they're getting their share of goals. New York fans, they're used to some goals here. They saw a lot in Long Island last year and again this year. But you've got to remember, I think, to all those people out there that you're dealing with the most talented players. And I said it a dozen times, I'm sure, during the course of the game. But if I was a goalie coming into tonight's game and I looked down that roster and saw all these talented players who can shoot the puck probably faster than most of the players in the league and skillful as well as picking those spots, I think I'd have a tough time sleeping after I was selected for the All-Star team in the starting goaltender position.
Who were some other players on either team that you thought were outstanding in this game?
Well, I thought John Ogrodnik played a very strong game. He may have had butterflies before the game, as he told Al Trotwick, but I thought once he got that goal, he got off to a much better start and made some good plays out there. Stevie Yzerman being his center iceman, I thought they worked well together. I like the idea when coaches kind of put their players that are used to playing with each other from the same team back together. I think it makes for a much more interesting game, Dan, and I just saw that out there tonight. I thought Coffey in his normal situation, I mean, he can rush with a puck like few defensemen can, and he really did that exceptionally well tonight. Dougie Wilson played a strong game as well, so you can go on and on and on. I could all night long because I just enjoy watching all this talent out in the ice. I guess that's any coach's dream, to coach a team with so much talent as these two teams had tonight.
13 goals in the game, an all-time high for all-star play. We enjoyed it. Hope you did. And I know a guy that had a lot of fun tonight was Al Trotwig. Let's go to him again.
Well, you're right, Dan Kelly. 1982 in Washington, D.C. Ronald Reagan was part of that team, but so was Mike Bossy. And then last year at the Nassau Coliseum, Wayne Gretzky. Well, it's time to engrave another name on this beautiful plaque as the MVP of the All-Star Game, Don Maloney of the New York Rangers. Now, Don, last year Wayne Gretzky won a car for being the MVP, and he gave it to his brother. I think it's only right that you drive it across the Hudson River and give the car to Dave. What do you think?
I think that's only fair. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, this is just a dream come true. I mean, I don't know. I'm still hasn't hit. I mean, I knew Wayne was in a slump, and it's great. I'm really happy.
You're such a boring guy. You know that?
I couldn't believe it.
Do you know that what you did has only been done by 4 other players? Ted Lindsay, Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky had done it 4 points in a game. That's really in the record books for you now.
I got Pierre and Mark Johnson. I mean, he played unbelievable. I mean, he sent me out about 3 or 4 times. You got to thank those 2 guys. I mean, and Al Arbor for picking me. I mean, I really didn't feel like I belonged here. This is like shows that a dream can come true every once in a while. I can't believe it. It's just great.
Now, when you started in the game, we had speculated that some of the last-minute additions, some of the players who were added by the coaches, would come in a little bit more charged up because they wanted to prove that they did belong. Did you feel that way?
Well, I tell you, last year I really didn't feel like I belonged. I was really nervous. And this year I felt better, and I just beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, you joke around saying you like the car, but I mean, to think it'd ever come true, it's like winning the lottery. I mean, those things just don't happen, and it's just great. I'm just really happy for it.
Who are you going to call to tell them that you won the car?
I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot more friends now, let me tell you. But it's, I don't know. I'm going to call, I think, my mom and dad. I mean, that's probably the first thing. I mean, they'll probably want to come down and have a drive in it. I mean, it's great. I'm really happy.
Now, you got to come down pretty soon because the regular season's going to continue, and you guys got to hold on to first place if you want it.
Yeah, hopefully this year the Rangers, I hope. I mean, this is great, though. We're playing well, and this just adds on top of it. It's just, I couldn't be in a better mood right now, that's for sure.
Well, it's a happy Don Maloney. I think you can see that. The MVP of the 36th All-Star Game. We began the night with nostalgia, and who knows, 30 years from tonight, someone may be saying, remember back in 1984 when Don Maloney scored 4 points. That's the story from the Meadowlands. Tonight's 36th NHL All-Star Game has been brought to you by Mobil 1, the official motor oil of the 1984 Winter Olympics. By Toyota's Cars and Trucks for 1984. Toyota invites you to see them at your local dealer. And by Levi's Menswear, makers of Levi's Action Slacks and Action Jeans. National Hockey League coverage on USA Sports continues this Sunday night when we bring you an Adams Division clash between the Quebec Nordiques and the Buffalo Sabres. That's Sunday night on USA at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Be with us then, but until then, for Dan Kelly and Gary Green and everybody at USA Sports, I'm Al Troutwig saying good night from the Meadowlands of New Jersey. The executive producer of USA Sports is Jim Zrake. Tonight's game was produced by a busy guy, Mark D. Stelberger, and directed by the Canadian cowboy, Ron Harrison. Our associate producers, Tim Rapley and Kevin Landy. USA Sports production coordinator is Barbara Travers. And the executive in charge of production, Dick Ross. The 36th NHL All-Star Game has been an exclusive presentation.